So we'll be recording and sharing these videos as we go, just so you guys have access if anybody is, not feeling well or they have to do something else during that time frame with family. Obviously, if you guys want to reference back to this, you guys will have access to this. I suggest anything that we cover, you transcribe into your econ notebooks or into the worksheets that you guys either were sent by the school. I don't know if they got there, or whatever I sent out that you guys may or may not have printed. Okay. Today is solely about retirement accounts. We're strictly going to discuss and go over the document that I had sent out. Okay. I'll say what I said before again. I do not mind if you guys come to the new apps class or the Lux class. Their class and your class will be the same every day. So Monday, third period and seventh period, which we have, will be the same class, same content. So I know a couple students actually came to the morning class that New Apps had for whatever reason. Somebody from New Apps might come to this class for whatever reason in the future. I don't mind that. I'll take attendance, whatever I need to do that way to make sure it's comfortable for everybody. All right. Questions on that? No. Wonderful. All right. So in the times that we're living in right now, there's a lot to say about how you're handling your finances. If you're a long-term investor, if you guys have been watching the market, it's gotten progressively worse over the past. I'm looking at it right now. I see some of you shaking your heads. It's gotten progressively, drastically worse. The investment landscape, there's a lot of uncertainty. There's a lot of confusion about what the Fed's doing, about what the Congress is going to do, that the Senate and House Representatives, the governors versus the president on who says what's true and false, what's China saying, what's Spain saying, what's the United States saying. Everybody's got a different story. So the markets hate uncertainty, and that's something that you're facing right now. So I suggest you guys follow this as closely as you can, because it is unprecedented what you're living through at your age. It's unprecedented what I'm living through at my age. So imagine, going through it when you're 17 or 18 and being able to understand the landscape of it. It's sad, but it's phenomenal at the same time if you think about it. So what we're going to focus on over the next 4 weeks, you guys might have looked at the Moodle site in the past couple days. I've uploaded your 4 major assignments we're going to do at least for the next 4 to 5 weeks. If we're out through June, which is definitely possible, I will update accordingly and add a few other things, right? Today we'll focus on the retirement accounts, all right? So I'm actually going to share, we're going to do a live poll, because I do want to get a little bit of a view on what your thoughts are on a few things first. This will kind of frame our discussion. So can you guys see what I have on screen now? All right, if you can, use your phone or the internet. I'll give you guys about 60 seconds to 2 minutes. Read the question. The craziest thing these are real stories. Which do you think is the craziest that someone did with their retirement account? And then select A, B, C, or D. Take your time reading it. We'll discuss them. I have 3 questions that we'll go over, and then we'll get into that worksheet. All right, so take a few, read through. I'm not going to mute myself because I'm not going to make much noise. But these are all real stories as you read them, so don't think that they're just BS, just for the sake of getting you guys to engage. These are real, and it's kind of terrifying when you think about it. And again, unless you guys are talking, keep the mics off if you can. You can unmute to talk. I welcome that. I'd love to hear your feedback rather than me talking to myself. That's kind of whack and boring. But just don't keep them on permanently. Nobody needs to hear what else is going on in your house. So the craziest things. These are all bad ideas. Let's flatten that out. These are all bad. What do you think is most bad or more bad? And that'll probably change. It'll probably change as we go through this discussion also. All right, give you guys about 30 seconds to finish reading. Daniel, do me a favor. Can you read A for everyone? So unmute and just read A for everyone.
Investing in alpacas. He withdrew all his individual retirement account rollover to purchase an alpaca farm.
Yeah, it sounds funny when someone else says it because it's really crazy. Leslie, can you read B? Subhan, you'll read C, and then Darren will have you read D, and then we'll move on.
B, took a loan from his 401k to fund the purchase of a luxury car. 6 months into the loan, he moved to a new job, paid penalty, paid the tax, loan is still outstanding.
Okay. C, Subhan?
Did not invest in a 401k plan because he feared the company will steal his 401k plan from him.
All right, and last, Darren, what do you got?
D, she maxed out her retirement contribution but was in consumer debt and unable to pay back her debt.
All right. You guys chose B. All right. So took a loan from the 401k to purchase a luxury car. 6 months into the loan, the person moved to a new job. All right. They paid the penalty to take out the money. They paid the tax that they paid as income tax, taking it out, and the loan for the car is still outstanding. All right. I would kind of agree that maybe that's not as crazy as an alpaca farm, but I guess it's kind of personal. C, didn't invest. So C, I'll have to go with isn't possible. Okay. So if you're taking notes or you have the worksheet, when we get to the 401k plan, you manage it. Okay. So I'm an employee of New York City. New York City does not have access to my retirement account. They have access to add money to it, but they can't move the funds around. I manage the funds. Does that make sense? So I have a login, I have a username, I have a password. I log in, I can move my funds around, I can transfer between different assets. I can do stocks, I can do bonds, I can do mutual funds, I can do ETFs, I can buy gold. I can buy anything I want, in theory. Your job, your employer, does not have access to that. Are there any questions on that? All right. None? All right.
Wait, I had one.
Okay.
Oh, so that's only for 401k or is that for all of them?
No, so that's just the 401k right now we're discussing. All right. We'll get to the IRA and traditional IRA a little bit later.
Okay.
But when you have a 401k, the 401k, or in my case, a 403b, those are created by the employer, but you operate them. All right. You fully manage them. Now, the last one, she maxed out her retirement contribution. Smart, right? I think we can agree that maxing out your retirement contribution is a good idea at some point when you can financially do it. But had consumer debt. What would you guys consider consumer debt? Anyone?
Credit card debt.
Good. Credit card debt. What else?
Auto loans.
Auto loans for your car. What else?
Mortgage.
Mortgage, so the loan on your house. All right. Small business loan if you're starting a business. So consumer debt, things that you personally are taking out. So she maxed out her retirement plan, smart, had a boatload of consumer debt, and couldn't pay back her debtors. Stupid, right? So you had one good and one bad. The issue here then becomes, what should have been done first? Should she have maxed out her 401k contribution or retirement contribution while she couldn't pay off her credit card debt? That's the biggest risk there. She kind of made a smart decision, but then she wasn't analyzing her entire financial health, right? Her financial report card. So be cognizant when we discuss the worksheet in a few moments that it is good to max out your retirement contribution. It is good to add to a retirement contribution. However, there is a line that you have to draw if you have other expenses or debt. Questions on that? Good. If you look at B, you can borrow against your 401k. So you have your 401k account. You can take out a loan against your 401k. It's like using your 401k as collateral. You can also take out a loan against your house, right? If you refinance your house. If you take out a loan against your house is collateral. Now, I don't necessarily always agree with doing that. I think it's risky because you don't know what financial situation you'll find yourself in. However, this person borrowed against her 401k and did what with the money?
Bought a luxury car?
Yeah, bought a luxury car. I'm not sure that was a need, right? That was a want. She didn't need it for medical bills to avoid going broke. She didn't need it to pay off her old car because she lost her job. It was a luxury purchase, all right? So those are a little bit scarier when it's a want rather than a need. So let's move on to the next one. Are you even smart with your 401k? Again, A, B, C, D, which is the smartest? So pick the smartest one. The smartest decision.
Can you explain the borrowing on the 401k again?
Okay, so if we look at A, okay, is somebody writing on my thing? I think so. So I'll give you a scenario so you can write this down if you want or not. So you have $100,000 in your 401k. You want to borrow $50,000 against that because you have, what she said, credit card debt. Okay? Now, if you borrow against it, it's like taking out a loan. So imagine the loan she's taking out against her 401k is at 5%. So write 5%. So she's borrowing 50 grand against her 401k at 5%. Give you guys like 30 seconds to write it down. Because again, her 401k is collateral. So the money's there. So you can take out a loan against it, and someone will say, if you don't pay your loan, I'll just take all your money. Fine. So you take out a $50,000 loan at 5%. 5% APR. All right? So it's annual percentage rate, APR. You have a credit card that has a 24% APR. Which has the higher APR? Anyone?
Your credit card?
The credit card.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Huge. 24%. Right? So you would probably rather pay off that credit card debt to avoid 24% APR over the course of the year, rather than pay the 24%. All right. So you'd theoretically be paying 5% APR from your loan and removing the 24% APR from your credit card. Now all you have to do is over time pay the money back that you owe against your 401k loan.
So you would be using you would use the loan to pay back the credit card. And then once you do that, then you just have to pay back the 5% APR. Is that what it is?
Yeah, so you use it to pay off the 24%. So your credit card debt is now where?
Zero.
Zero. So now your credit card debt is zero. However, you still took out a $50,000 loan from your 401k.
Yeah.
So you still have to pay back that $50,000 loan over time, but what's your APR on that?
5%.
5% instead of what percent for the credit card?
24%.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
All right. Now that's not ideal, right? Because if this person loses their job, how are they going to pay off the $50,000 loan that they now have?
Another loan.
The first issue is how the hell did they end up with that much debt on their credit card? That they had to take out a loan to pay off their credit card debt. That's the first concern, right? So you can make some financially intelligent decisions and try to avoid that. But in times like today, people losing their jobs, maybe somebody gets sick, they have medical bills. Some people will do this, all right? Some people will borrow against their 401k, pay off their debt. Shut off your volume if you have other people talking, please. All right. So what you'll have is you'll borrow against your 401k, use that 50 grand to pay off your other debt because the other debt has a higher interest rate, then slowly pay back the 401k loan because the 5% is a hell of a lot lower than 25%.
You can do that before 60?
Yes, you can, because it's a loan. You're not liquidating your 401k. You're taking out a loan. And all you're telling the bank is, hey, you know what? If I don't pay back my loan, theoretically, hey, you can take what's in my 401k. Because you're proving you have that money, but you don't want to liquidate it. So you take out a loan. Shannon, make sense? Leslie? Ham, I see you writing. Or are you sleeping?
I was writing it down.
All right. Question on what you wrote?
No.
Okay. So it is a smart idea for her in this situation for person number A. It depends on how much the credit card debt was, right? It depends on what the real APR is on the credit card debt. But also my concern is what other decisions could have been made to avoid having to do that. So what decisions could have been made earlier on? All right, that's always a thought in the back of my head. So B says this person put away money. He put 15% of his salary away every year. Genius, right? Person C has $400,000 in dividend stocks or dividend assets that yields 3% and gives him $12,000 per year of income. Passive income, meaning all this person has to do is hold on to these investments and he'll get $12,000 a year. Another smart idea. Person D, smart again, 25 years old, invested $75 a month into assets. The person that started at 35 years old, putting in more money, still had less than the person who started at 25 putting in less money. So that's one of the things that I try to instill to you guys is consider that as soon as you can start saving and putting money away, do that. Start making those smart financial decisions. Let's move to the last one I want to go over. Where would you put disposable income first? First. Keyword is disposable. The second word is first. Where would you guys want to put it? So disposable and first. Okay, so I would actually have to go with who's here. I'd like to hear from James. Where'd you choose and why?
I chose savings account first because that's the most safe option to go no matter what, because it's also the most liquidable too. And it's really safe, stress-free.
Okay, safe, stress-free. Would you say liquid?
Yeah.
Liquid, so you have easy access to the money. So what the U.S. government recommends on what financial advisors recommend is they want you to have 3 to 6 months of your salary saved for a rainy day. So imagine you make 100 grand a year. 3 to 6 months is like 25 to 50 grand they want you to have at any given time in your savings account. God forbid you have an emergency or something happens to, you have medical bills, your car breaks down, you can afford some of these expenses, right? Unlike what you see now where a lot of these businesses are telling the government, give us money because we have no money left, right?
Wait, 25% or 50% of your gross income or your net income?
Well, that's a great question. They actually never specify that. I would probably say your net because your net is what you use.
Okay.
I would say 25 to 50, 3 to 6 months worth of your net. So if you make 100 grand and you normally live on $75,000 a year net, you got to figure a fourth to half of that. So you figure 20 to 37,000 you want at any given time in your savings account. Because that's your means, right? That's what you're normally living within, right? If you make 40 grand a year, those numbers are very different. If you make 40 to 50 grand a year, you probably can't save 50% of that because it's harder, especially if you have a family or you live in New York City. Okay, so depending on your income level is also a concern. But that's what they say. First would definitely be your savings account because that's your emergency fund. Okay. Second, I would agree with you, probably your personal investment account or your 401k. Buy yourself something nice. Who wrote that? Who wants something nice? Probably Prasanga, right? Or Rockable. Rockable bought his Barbie.
No, that was not me.
Prasanga, what'd you choose?
For the first one, I chose personal investment and savings, 401k, and then fourth was bio.
Okay. So yours is actually what's almost on screen now.
Yeah.
Okay. Who put buy yourself something nice? Did anybody put that as first?
Nah, I put it first.
Shocking. Why?
What if I bought gold? What if I bought gold though?
What?
What if I bought gold?
Like a gold rope chain or like an investment of gold?
No, like a kilo of gold.
I mean, the thing is, are you buying it to have a brick of gold or are you buying it as an investment?
I guess both, but yeah, as an investment too. Would that count though as like if you buy yourself something first, does that also count as an investment?
Well, I would compartmentalize it. So buying yourself something nice is you go buy a $400 suit. You go buy a car. You go buy, $400, Starbucks. You load up your Starbucks app with $400, right? That's what I would consider buy yourself something nice. If you're saying you're buying gold as an investment, I would put that as an investment account in theory. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right. So if I said that, would that change your answer, or is it, gold just happens to be what you said, or in which case that would probably change your numbers? Hello?
My fault. I was muted. Nah, I would change my answer.
Okay. Okay, good. So your 401k is interesting because of what I'm going to go through next. So guys, thank you for that. And Gabe, thank you for updating your answer. So I'm going to share a different screen with you, which has your assignment that we were working on. All right, can you guys see this assignment? Yes?
Yes.
Okay, good. There we go, hold on. I messed that up. There we go. All right, so this is what you guys were sent, that you guys had to fill out. The gray implies what you could have answered, okay? So the type of plan, let's do 401k first. We'll see how far we get. Okay. What type of plan is a 401k? Is it an employer plan? Is it a self plan? Or is it both?
Both, technically.
Both, technically. I'd agree with you. So we'll write down both. Done. All right. Next. Do you pay income tax during retirement on your 401k? You guys did the research. What do you got?
Said yes.
Yes.
Yes, correct. Yes, during retirement. Here's why you pay income tax during retirement. Because of the next question. Is it tax deductible?
Yes.
Yes. The 401k contribution is tax deductible.
Wait.
Let's go over that. Leslie makes $40,000 a year. Leslie puts $5,000 into her 401k. What is Leslie taxed on at the end of the year?
35.
Say it again.
35.
$35,000, correct. That's being tax deductible. You deduct it from your income. Does that make sense? Questions on that? Somebody give me another scenario. Hello? Am I talking to myself? Mary. Mary, unmute and give me another scenario that shows a tax deductible. Okay, Mary. Oh, no, there she is.
I just got like lost. Wait, can you explain that again? And then I can make a scenario.
Okay. So Frida makes $55,000 a year working at your company, right?
Okay.
Frida has money in her savings already. So she decides the second thing she's going to do is contribute to her 401k.
Mm-hmm.
So if you guys write down that Frida makes $55,000 a year, right? And she now puts $10,000 into her 401k.
Okay.
What is she taxed on?
That $45,000.
Correct. The $10,000 is deducted from her income level.
Oh.
So her income was 55 minus the $10,000 tax deduction. She pays taxes on how much income? 45.
Yeah.
So Mary, now give me a scenario. You work at Lululemon. You're an executive. Okay. You make $200,000 a year.
$200,000.
Yeah, you got a nice paycheck. All right. Don't forget me when you're making $200,000 a year, please.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you put $15,000 into your 401k. What are you taxed on?
200,000. Wait. No, it'll be 85,000.
You want to do that math again? 200,000 minus what are you deducting?
15,000.
What's your math?
That'll be 185.
There you go. So,
Oh, sorry. I don't know why I was saying weird. Okay.
Okay, so does that make sense to everybody? That's your tax deduction. So you pay, it lowers your tax bracket. It lowers how much you pay in taxes. Okay? Now, contribution limits. Contribution limits. What is the most you can contribute? I'm going to call on Emery for this because Emery did the 401k presentation, which, Emery, you will be doing a 401k presentation live from home one of these days. Newsflash. She just notified. Okay.
But like how you're doing it right now, or like I have to stand up and give?
No, just like this. You can share your screen. I'll teach you how to share your screen. You can click through the PowerPoint and just read through and educate.
Okay.
Oh, you look so excited. All right, so Emery, what is the contribution limit for 2020?
For 2020, it's $19,500.
Good. $19,500. And what is the withdrawal age, Emery, again?
59 and a half.
Good. And then does anybody else know the forced distribution?
70.5.
Good. 70 and a half. So if you don't start pulling out your money by the time you're 70, they start forcing you to do it. Okay? Who manages the account?
Yourself.
Good. Self-managed. Your company has access, but I would probably consider it self-managed. They can pay into it, but they will not manage it. You can have a financial advisor with that company. You can control it. Where the assets go, like where you spend the money, like what you buy and sell. So you control it yourself. Okay? Can you change your contribution? So the max you can contribute is $19,500. Can you change that during the year?
Yes.
Yep.
Can you change it every month?
No.
Yes.
Oh, you can. Oh, my bad.
Yes. You can change it as much as you want.
Don't you have to have a set so the business can match with you? Or
Yeah, so imagine it's like an algorithm. So this isn't really like Subhan and his finance team doing it in Excel. This is a platform where when I change my contribution from $19,500 to $10,000, it automatically updates the system and will automatically update what your employer contributes to your account.
When's the latest you can change it and then like it implements?
Payroll, usually 2 to 4 weeks. Because you got to figure you have a 2-week payroll period, right? So usually it would take 2 to 4 weeks for that to take effect. Give me a scenario where you would change, increase or decrease your contribution limit. Somebody give me a scenario where you would personally increase or decrease contribution limits.
When you need the money for like hospital bills.
Okay. Good. So if you have hospital bills, maybe you decrease your contribution so you get more money in your check. Where would you increase your contribution? Give me a scenario, somebody else.
Get like a fat Christmas bonus.
Great. So you got a big Christmas bonus, your boss gives you a big fat check, and you're like, you know what? I have more money now than I thought. I can increase my contribution to my retirement account and then re-lower my tax bracket again because I didn't expect this big-ass bonus. Sorry, I don't think I can say that. My big bonus. Make sense? Questions on another reason you might change your contribution?
Oh wait, can you actually explain what contribution means?
So contribution. So we just went over how much you can put in, right?
Yeah.
That's your contribution. That's it. So James, you work at Nike. You make $40,000 a year. You contribute $5,000. What's your contribution?
35.
What's your contribution to your retirement account? You make 40. You put 5 into your 401k. How much do you contribute?
5K.
5K. That's it.
Oh,
The,
okay.
the contribution.
All right.
It's. I guess it's easier than it sounds. The contribution is what you contribute to your retirement account.
All right.
Now, here's the fun part. Who funds this?
Your employer.
No, yourself.
You're gonna both.
No.
If
Or
it matches.
your
Because
employer
you
if
don't
it's
have-
matching.
Both. Okay.
So it's both. Since your employer does match to a percentage, it would be both. You put in the most, obviously. But they could and would match, meaning they put some money in. So it would be both. It's funded by both of you.
Do they have to put something in?
No.
It's only if it's matched, right?
What?
It's only if it's matched that they have to put something in.
So they have to help you set up an account to have a tax deductible 401k plan, but they do not have to match. They just have to help you set up the account. That's mandated by law. Emery, what year was that law?
19.
1978. 1978 was the law where it said employers have to provide a 401k plan.
But then it was altered, and then in 1981.
Correct. All right. No one really used it in 1978. And so what they did was they changed it again in 1981. And that's when it really took effect. Good. What's the penalty? Yeah, William.
Yeah. What would incentivize a company to match your 401k?
To get good employees.
Right.
Right? So imagine you have an opportunity to work at Apple. You have an opportunity to work at Google. Google's 20 minutes closer to home, but Apple matches 5% up to 15 grand. So if you put in 15 grand, they'll match 5% up to 15 grand. So they'll match a certain percentage more than Google will, which means maybe you'll want to go to Apple instead of Google.
Okay.
All right. So it is a way to lure good employees.
Mm-hmm.
It's also just another perk, like a benefit. Okay.
What was what was the law in 78, and then how did they change it in 81?
I will let Emery speak on that when we do that presentation.
Okay.
So
And
it was
yeah.
loosely applied in 78, not really employed or enacted or enforced until like 1981. But if Emery wants to go into that when she speaks, I'll let her do that, but not right now because I want to get through the rest of this one column.
Okay.
Right? We'll get to that. But 1978, the law, and 1981 is when companies really started doing it. Okay.
How can you talk about what's the maximum they can match it, or do we wait for the presentation?
That's up to the company.
Okay.
Every company decides themselves how much they want to match. If they want to match and give you 20 grand, we'll match you dollar for dollar. So if you put in 10 grand, they put in 10 grand. Some companies do it. If they
Is there a maximum?
Is there a maximum that they can contribute? That I'm not sure. Emery, do you know that?
No, I don't know.
I don't know either. We'll have to get back to you on that and do some research.
Okay, thank you.
Right? That's actually a really good question. But you got to remember, Subhan, where does this money come from? When you're matching, where's the money come from?
From the business.
Exactly. Do you want to match dollar for every employee?
Nah, we're broke.
Can you say it again, louder?
I said, nah, we're broke.
Exactly. So if you imagine having 100,000 employees that all put 10 grand in, and let's say you match $1,000, right? 100 employees times 1,000. How much money is that every year they're putting in?
I can't do math right now.
100,000.
100,000 employees at $1,000 per employee.
Oh.
No.
Wait.
Guys, there's like 30 of you in here. Nobody can do simple math.
Wait, repeat that, please.
100,000 employees, you give them each $1,000 a year towards their 401k.
100 million.
100 million.
$100 million. Can you
Yeah.
imagine telling somebody who's invested in your company that we're going to give 100 million back to our employees? I would be so tight. But sometimes you do it to get good employees, and then sometimes you also do it because it looks good to the
Isn't it
community.
like based on position of the employee?
You might. I'm not sure that it would be legal to match differently for different employees. Does that make sense?
So they can't offer different plans?
I'll get back to you on that also. Okay? Because I know it is negotiable. When you have a job, you can go in there, ask what it is, and then see if they'll increase the matching. Right? Like if you want a certain salary, maybe you say, all right, you're going to give me a lower salary. I want you to match more. That's a negotiation. But I would have to get back to you on that. The early withdrawal penalty. What's your penalty for withdrawing from your 401k early? So before 59 and a half.
You have to pay 10%.
10% plus what?
Tax.
Yep. Plus
income tax.
Income tax. Exactly. 10% plus income tax. Good. Last thing I want to address, and then I'll be out of your hair. Tomorrow, we'll go over traditional and Roth and any questions that you guys have. And I'll try to get those questions that Leslie and Subhan had also answered. What is a quote-unquote pre-tax contribution? Can somebody give me like a Twitter post? Give me one sentence.
Like a contribution that hasn't been taxed on?
Cash that
You don't tax it yet.
Say it again. Let's go. Hold on. Vanya, I haven't heard from you yet. You go first.
So it just basically means that it hasn't been taxed.
So, okay, so pre-tax would be income not taxed, okay? Your 401k is a pre-tax plan, okay? So we look up here at the tax deduction. This is tax deductible, which means before taxes, this is taken out. So it's deducted from your tax. So it's called the pre-tax contribution. So it is tax deductible, also known as a pre-tax contribution. Same phrase. All right, I would write that in your notes, write it on your worksheets. The second bullet or third bullet that says tax deductible. If it is tax deductible, in this case, this is pre-tax. So before you even get your check, it's pulled out.
But you still pay tax on it when you pull it out, right?
And say it again, Shannon?
You still pay taxes on it once you pull out the money.
Oh, heck yeah. If you don't pay tax now, you definitely pay tax later. So it's two ways. You either pay tax now and don't pay tax later in some accounts, or you pay tax later and you don't pay tax now. In this situation, your 401k is pre-tax. So you make 100K minus a $10,000 investment, which means you're taxed on only 90K taxed. Your 100K is your principal. Your 10K is your pre-tax contribution. $90,000 is what you get taxed on at the end of the year. Questions? That's your 401k plan. All right. Starbucks has a great 401k plan. They offer it to all their employees. They also offer stock options to a lot of employees. So a lot of that is research when you guys start, getting jobs and looking into your careers. You can look into what they offer, but make sure if they have a 401k account, 401k plan, find out what they're matching, because you have the 10K principal minus 10K pre-taxed. Then you can do it's 10K into your 401k plus their contribution equals what? So you're paying yourself with the $10,000 pre-tax contribution, and then the company's contributing to your account. Does the math make sense?
Yes.
I can't see the bottom of it.
Hold on. Let me see if I can move this then. Hold on. Did that help at all? What if I do that? Still can't? What about this?
That's better.
That's better, yeah.
Hold on. So I gotta move all this stuff over. Oh, come on. All right, it won't let me move it over because of how Zoom is set up. So I'll just scale it up. And all the stuff is just pushed to the left. I apologize. Any questions on that?
Wait, so the 10,000 plus there is the contribution, right?
Yes, and then what I wrote with plus there is their contribution. So you contribute 10, and they're going to contribute whatever they said they're contributing.
Okay.
So their contribution is free money.
Exactly. Their contribution is basically a raise, or whatever you want to call it. It's free money. That's why it's important to know. So if you live at home or you have low expenses because you guys end up with 3 roommates after college, and you're making 50, 40, 60 grand a year, 80 grand a year, whatever you're making. If you don't have kids and you buy a used car, right? And you live below your means, you could max out your 401k, lower your tax bracket because it's pre-tax, so you pay less taxes, and the company now gives you kind of a pay raise because they're contributing to your 401k plan. And then you manage that money. So if you want to be like Gabriel and buy gold, you can buy gold in that investment account. The 401k plan is just an investment account. It's an investment account you can buy and sell in just like anything else. You just can't take the money out and go to the casino without paying a penalty. Questions?
Do you have a Roth 401k account? Like you pay the tax first?
Right, so we're going to go over that. So if you well, who's got class next? Because this class is done at 12:15, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're done at 12:15.
Yeah, I got class right now.
All right, so let me do this. I don't want to keep you guys if you guys have another class. What I do want to do, we'll cover the Roth and traditional IRA on tomorrow. Okay, we'll cover that for part of class tomorrow. We'll answer any questions you guys have tomorrow on that. Then we'll move on to the next assignment that you guys are going to be working on. All right? And we'll cover that together first. Questions? Wednesday will be tutoring, or if you guys have any questions, we can hop on Zoom anytime you guys want. Thursday will be the same time as today. Friday will be the same time as tomorrow.
Are we still doing econ?
What do you mean?
Are we still gonna have econ lessons?
What did we just do right now?
Well, besides like going over like homework and stuff, like you said, and like projects.
Yeah, everything that you guys are working on is economics related. So your next 3 projects that you'll be working on are all, economics related. So the next assignment is about monetary and fiscal policy, the Fed and the government on what they're going to do for small businesses, with loans, with debt. You have another lesson on mergers and acquisitions. You have another lesson on corporate debt. All right, so that'll be what we cover for the next 4 weeks. All right, so as of now, what we'll be going over is everything around those 4 large projects. So any lessons we have are regarding those projects.
Okay.
After the next 4 weeks, if we're not back in school by the end of April, then you'll have additional projects which pop up that will be what we cover economics-wise. So the research and homework that you guys did on retirement accounts, I mean, that's pretty pertinent and important information that you guys should have. I would consider that personal finance and economics.
Mm.
All right. And then again, depending on how long we'll be teaching like this, your lessons will, whether it is a discussion or me covering certain topics, any topic we cover will come with an assignment, similar to how we did the stock charts and the investing, you know, finding the bottoms and the 50-day, 100-day, you know, 20-day moving averages, you know, how you guys had that worksheet. In this case, all of your assignments or worksheets are on the platform you can access now, and then we'll discuss them as we go down that line of that workload. Fair?
Yep.
All right. Any questions on anything that we did today regarding 401k?
When I was searching it up, I know I saw something that said that they could put some of the money in like investments as well, which is why they have like what did I write down? I don't remember. But like you said before, they can a fiduciary or like Fidelity, they can an investment, they can look into that, like they can help you manage it.
Right. So when you have a 401k, the money doesn't just sit there in an account, right? The money can sit there in cash, or the money can be invested, right? You'd want to probably invest it somewhere. Now, if it's with Fidelity, then like let's say you work for Apple and Apple's fiduciary that helps set up this 401k account is Fidelity. Fidelity would have an advisor for you that you can talk to, right? They would also give you a login so you can log in to that account. So you can get their advice and they can help manage it, and you can make your own decisions as well. Whether it's buying individual stocks or buying funds, that depends on which company helps to manage and control your investment account. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, so you can invest with it. You can invest the money, or it can just sit there either way. So like, how would that? I don't want to take everyone's time though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it brings like another question.
If you guys have class, you guys can leave. I'm still recording, so we can talk about this however long you guys need to. If you guys have class, go ahead and take off. If you don't, you guys are welcome to stay. I have the recording, and I'll throw it online also. So go ahead, say it again.
So you can do investments. So then how would that work if like your investments maybe don't work out, like you lose money instead of gaining money? How would that work afterwards with the tax?
Okay, so see that empty coffee cup?
Yeah.
Okay. This is your investment account.
Mm-hmm.
You can buy and sell anything that you want in this retirement account. Okay? What you cannot do is take the money that's in this account and move it to this account at Citibank where you can now go to the mall. Right? So if you have Apple in your 401k retirement account right here, and Apple starts going down, you can sell it. The money stays right here in this account. Then you can use the money in this account and buy Apple again in 2 months. But the money stays in this account. So anything you buy or sell, the money stays here. You're not liquidating your account when you buy and sell anything in your retirement account. Okay? But what you don't do is you don't want to take money from this 401k and try to and put it in this hat. Damn. Hold on. There you go. This is your personal investment account. You can't move anything from this retirement account to this investment account because that means you're taking it out of your retirement account, which means you pay taxes and penalties on it in order to put it into that account. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So you can do whatever you want inside this account as long as you don't actually take the money out of the account.
Okay.
Your face still looks like you're a little bit confused.
I'm like processing it. So then how does that, so like it's not in your personal, investment account, but it's still in your retirement account.
Correct.
So then how does that work if you're investing in something using the money? Like it's still in your account.
Okay, so check this out. Ready? Retirement account. I gotta see if I have more dishes over here. Hold on.
It's fine.
All right. So you've got, let me angle this down. You've got your savings account, okay? Your personal investing account, which is this lovely hat, and your retirement account, which is that coffee cup. You have 3 accounts. Are we clear on that?
Retirement, your investment, and what's the other one?
So personal, we'll go savings account, personal investment account, and your retirement account. Okay? The money in your savings and your personal investment can go back and forth. Right? This is like you're playing around. Your savings account, your stocks, savings account, your stocks. You can transfer between these accounts. It doesn't make a difference. What you cannot do is dump what's in your 401k into your personal account or into your savings account. What's in your retirement account has to stay. So you can buy and sell stocks in here, but the money has to stay here. Yeah. You can buy and sell stocks in your personal account. This money can move around. This money cannot. So if you buy Apple today at Apple's at $218 today, right? Ooh. So if you buy Apple today and in 1 year Apple's at $300, you can sell it and you made $82. If you sell it, where's that money go?
In your retirement account.
In which of these things?
The coffee mug.
In the coffee mug. And it stays in the coffee mug.
Yeah.
Which means you don't pay tax on it because it never came out of your retirement account.
So then how would the taxes work afterwards?
You're taxed on profit. No, you're taxed on everything when it comes out.
So capital gains and your income taxes of your retirement once you use
it. But it's not really considered capital gains, quote unquote.
Yeah.
Because it's income. And if you retire at 65 and you have no job and you start pulling money out, you're going to pay very little tax on it. So the first place you could probably buy and sell stocks is a retirement account. Unless you need the money. All right? Because this money can go back and forth in case you have kids or bills or house bills or healthcare bills or you lose your job. This money is liquid, right? This is your 401k. This is not liquid.
Yeah.
Wait, how do you access it with that money?
How do you access this?
Yeah, like that money. Like, how do you access that money to put it into stocks and stuff like that? Like,
you go into, so let me get my hat back on. All right, it's my thinking hat. So this mug is TD Ameritrade, right? I showed you my TD Ameritrade account. I have access, I log in, and I can buy and sell stocks all day long. I can buy and sell different funds all day long in my retirement account, but as long as it stays here, I'm not paying a penalty and I'm not paying income tax on it because I'm not pulling it out to put it into this hat or this savings account cup, right? So savings account, personal investing account on Robinhood, and your retirement account with TD. This can go back and forth. This stays here, but you have full access to this. TD gives you a login. You can log in and do whatever the heck you want in this account. Just don't try to move the money from here into one of these 2 accounts.
So it's its own separate account.
Yeah, these are 3 different accounts. Citibank savings account, Robinhood investment account, TD Ameritrade, let's call it 401k.
Right.
Okay? This money stays here.
Fuck you, nigga.
Say it again.
And contrary with the retirement investment, right? Do you have a temporary limit on the investment, or can you invest in bonds as well?
Bonds also. It depends on what is offered in that account, right? So different like Fidelity and TD offer different funds. You'd have to see what those funds offer. They might not allow you to buy individual stocks. You might have to stick with buying certain mutual funds or ETFs or things that they offer. But you can buy and sell, but it stays in that account. But Nicole, you have full access to this. This isn't just money that goes into your 401k and you're like, I hope it goes up. You can control where it goes once it's in here.
What happens if so you gave the example of Apple, you buy it now at $215 and then it goes up to like $230 within a year. What if it goes down? Then what happens?
And then it went down. The value of your 401k went down.
Okay.
Where's your power?
Say it again.
Wait, I have a question now.
Hold on. Does that answer your question? I mean, it sucks if it goes down. I mean, I've got investments in my 401k. I've got investments in my Roth and my traditional IRA that have gone down the past month. It sucks, but I'm not going to take the money out of my 401k. What I can do is sell it, keep the money in here, then reinvest it when the economy gets better.
Okay.
So I can sell this stuff, keep it as cash in this account, and then when the economy starts to get better, use the cash in this account that I already had and buy stocks. But I never remove the cash or investments from this account.
Yeah.
Whatever's in this cup stays in the cup.
So how would the taxes work? So is it just you're paying taxes on whatever is like in the cup, for instance, or do you pay like 2 types of taxes?
Nope. So when you pull it out, you pay tax on that. That's it.
That's
it. Year's income at 59.5, you can start taking $5,000 a month out of this account and paying tax. It's income tax.
Yeah, so like a possible scenario can be, let's say 2 months ago, someone had $5,000 in their 401k, right? But then after making some investments and like seeing the current situation now where majority of stocks are down, can that 401k be like worth $3,500 now simply because of those investments?
Of course. If you can have $100,000 in your 401k, and you're in investment funds that go down. So 1 month ago, if you had $100,000 in your account, you probably have about $60,000 right now.
Okay.
Now you still have those assets. So if in 2 years the market goes up, well, maybe that it went from 100 down to 60, back up to 120.
Right.
But it's still all happening within the cup.
Right, you can't take the money out, like it's just happening in that cup.
Right, but things can transfer in the cup. Within the cup, things can move. You can sell Apple and buy Amazon. You can sell Apple and buy the QQQ ETF. Right? You can sell a bond fund and buy a growth or a dividend fund. Right? So you have options to do that. So all those assets we've talked about, stocks, bonds, mutual funds, all of those that we've done, you have full access to those inside this retirement account. And you can buy and sell it inside this retirement account. Just don't take it out of this cup. Because then you have to pay the penalty and taxes on it.
Right.
Let the cup grow. Let the cup grow. And hold on, somebody's. All right, bye, Darren. Bye, Ethan. All right, so let the cup grow, and it fills up. It continues to fill up. or it goes down because the market goes down. So you can control what you're invested in this column.
What if you invest in a company and it goes bankrupt and you just lose all the money?
Goes to zero.
So
That means if you had, like, okay, let's say you have 100 grand in here and $10,000 is an Apple, and Apple goes bankrupt. Well, that $10,000 just turned into what?
Zero.
Zero. That's it. It's like, it sucks, but it turned to zero.
And then you didn't get taxed. Like, no, wait, you got taxed because then you didn't get taxed on that original money from your income.
Correct.
Because it was tax deductible. So how would that work with the taxes though? Like, wouldn't you still have to pay? Oh no, but then there's no money anyways. So you just don't get taxed. That's it. You just lost it.
I mean, you just lost it. It's unfortunate, but you just lost it. That's the risk. The risk is now you have no money.
So that explains why, like, the companies in Detroit, like, when the employers had to, like, go bankrupt, then many employees had to, like, have nothing in their 401ks because they went bankrupt.
That's it. Well, no. So that would be a pension.
Pension, yeah.
So the company doesn't have your 401k. If Apple goes bankrupt, I still have my 401k if I work at Apple. It is still mine. Okay? I have to find a new job, and I can take my 401k with me.
Okay.
But if you have a pension, right? Let's say this candle is your pension with New York City, and I'm a New York City employee, and this is my pension, right? So that's one of the things on the column.
Yeah.
If New York City files bankruptcy like Detroit did back in the 2007, 2009 crisis, or let's say GM, General Motors, has a pension plan and GM goes bankrupt, GM can change the pension that they have. Or what if they say, oh, we don't have the money, we're going bankrupt, and now everyone loses their pension? That's possible.
Okay.
Right? So if they go bankrupt, this can be at zero. Because their pension is what they owe you, and if they have no money, how can they pay you? Other questions while I'm here?
I have a question.
Yes.
So
who's I? Who's
Your
I?
mom got.
So can you invest in real estate with your 401k account? 401k account?
Guys, who's Timothy Tan?
Someone keeps on saying like random stuff. Kinda
Yeah, I
annoying.
know.
I don't know.
I don't think it's him, but it's like someone just keeps coming back and like saying random stuff.
Yeah.
Like Chris or something like that.
All right, that person's gone. Guys, remember, don't share this link with anyone for our live sessions. I don't want Matt or in here either, even if they want to sit in on the class. If I need to change the code, I'll change the code. But I don't need anybody coming in here while we're trying to have an intellectual conversation, screwing up our conversation for any reason. Okay.
Mr. Power, some of the codes are public because remember that document that Dr. Marmer sent?
Oh my gosh, you're right.
I must explain why.
All right,
Yeah.
I am going to get back to you guys. I may change the code then. Let me run that through administration. I may change the code. That way no one else in the school has it.
Like, who is that board that is running around joining other people's Zooms?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. I will shoot you guys out a message later. I am going to change the Zoom code if I can. I'm going to see how I can do that. I will send it to you guys via Remind, and I will repost it on our class website. That way we don't have other people joining this class, because I don't feel like dealing with that. All right? For you guys, and I don't think it's right. I don't know. So back to what we were talking about, though. Sorry, I just wanted to check who was making noisy. Anything else you guys got questions on? I know we're here a little bit longer than you guys wanted. Please, I hope you're not going to other classes. But do you have any questions on what we discussed?
So my question was in Prasanga. Use your 401k account to invest in real estate.
Can you buy a house? No. Can you invest in a mutual fund that has exposure to real estate? Yes. So it depends on what it depends on if it's Fidelity, if it's TD, if it's ING, whoever it is. If it's Voya, I use Voya, is one that I had. So it depends on the funds they have available. There's a fund for everything these days. So you can probably have an investment in a mutual fund, an ETF, that has exposure to real estate. Yes. You could buy a fund which has Home Depot, which is exposure to real estate theoretically. Yes. You cannot take the money out and go buy a building. Does that make sense?
Yep.
All right. Does that answer your question?
Yep.
I had a question for 401k. So when I was searching it up, I saw that there was like a 401k Roth account. So what is that?
Say it again.
A 401k Roth account. Because I know there's two types.
Okay, so
I just post-tax.
Right. Okay. So you can have a 401k that you roll over into a Roth IRA.
What does roll over mean?
So I'm running out of cups, guys. All right. Here's your 401k, right?
Yeah.
You no longer work here. Okay? But you still have your 401k. You don't want to use Voya Financial as your website. You want to use TD Ameritrade. You can turn this into a rollover Roth IRA here. You contact this company, they talk, and this money shows up here in a rollover IRA. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yes.
So all you're doing is rolling over still a retirement account from this location to this location.
Yeah.
Like I have money right now in my 401k from like a decade ago. I still have it. I could easily take this money out and put it into a rollover in TD Ameritrade that I can access. That's all that is. It's a Roth IRA that you changed jobs, or you changed from being in the private sector to the public sector, like working for the city, and the city doesn't have a 401k plan. So since you're no longer contributing to this, maybe you want to move it and you can roll it over. What you cannot do is say, hey, I'm no longer working for Apple, I'm going to liquidate this. Right? Because then you're paying taxes and penalties. You would have to roll this over into a new retirement account. You like that, Emery, the roll it over thing? Is that why you're laughing at me?
Never mind. It's like, why am I? Because like, we basically covered pretty much what my entire presentation is.
And
so, like,
you're still going to do the presentation. You're still going to do the presentation.
okay.
It's not my fault Leslie asked all these questions.
Hi.
But also, there's like 10 of you here, and half of you probably aren't even paying attention. So we'll do later. We'll see. Maybe we're back in school in May, and we don't have to do it. So let's wait and see what happens. All right. Other questions? Emery, do you have any questions? Since you put together a lot of this presentation, is there anything that was sticking out in your head?
It was either Leslie or Subhana that asked, is there a maximum that employers can contribute? So I'm gonna do some more research on that.
Okay. I don't want to guess. I think that's a good question. I doubt they're going to contribute exactly what you contribute, though. Like if you put 19.5 into your account, there's no way they put 19,000 into your account. That's just crazy. So
that's probably why they do like percentages more often.
Correct. They'll do a percentage because it's cheaper.
Yeah.
You know, why give people more money than you have to?
Yeah, and people have different salaries depending on their job level.
Anything else?
Is there no protection at all, like a savings account? You know how like it's protected by like the FDIC and stuff? If you lose your money, there's no such protection at all so you can end up with zero money when you're 70.
Yes, 100%. So you're FDIC insured in your savings account, Serena, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is your savings account, right? You're FDIC insured up to 250 grand. This is an investment. These investments can go down. This is not an investment. This is just money sitting in Citibank. So the FDIC insures this money that it will always be there for you. This is an investment. We cannot guarantee this goes up. This can go down. This can go to zero.
Can you choose to so you put money into that account? Can you choose to do nothing with that money?
It can stay as cash, and then it is FDIC insured.
Okay, so when it's cash, it's FDIC insured.
You can have just cash sitting in that account, yes.
Okay.
I have cash sitting in one of my IRA accounts right now. It's just strictly cash.
Isn't it just safer?
What?
Isn't it just safer for everybody then?
It's safer, but what if Apple goes from 218 to 300 and you left your money in cash? Now that's great, you have cash, but then you missed out on like 33% gains.
Mm-hmm.
That's your educated decision you have to make as an investor and an employee. What financial decisions are you going to make?
Okay.
Well, that's why you guys are here, so you can at least start picking little things that you can do. You can buy a mutual fund so it's less risky, or you can go crazy and put everything in like PayPal or Visa or Apple down 30 or 40% and say, hey, you know what? In 5 years, I know this thing's going to be double or triple what it is today. Hope that it is that high, and then see if it goes up.
So you can buy an alpaca farm, would you just buy it?
Well, if you liquidate your 401k, pay the fees, you could use that money.
Oh, so you can't buy it directly when it's not liquidated?
No. If you're buying things inside of your retirement account, you can only buy what's available to buy inside this account.
Okay.
Yeah, if you take out the money to buy your alpaca farm, you have to pay your taxes and penalties to use this money to buy the alpaca farm.
Okay.
All right, so Serena wants an alpaca farm. Got it.
Wait, my internet cut off. So what was the answer to that? Like, is it safe? Is it protected?
No,
For instance, like your savings account? It's not?
Your savings account cash is protected.
Yeah, that's protected. Mm-hmm.
Your cash in your retirement account is protected. The moment you invest it, it's not protected at all.
For your retirement account?
Correct.
Okay.
Not protected.
Oh wait, Mr. Power, what's the vesting period?
The what?
The vesting period. Like they're saying the contributions are locked, but isn't it already locked? Because you can't take it out until you're like 59, like a half.
Let's see. Give me 1 second. So your vesting period. Let me look this up. Okay, so often with your 401k, they'll contribute after a certain time period, or they'll increase their contribution over time, right? So if it takes 3 years or 5 years to be fully vested, meaning like they don't want you to join their company for a year just for those 401k benefits, right? So there might be a time frame for a duration that you have to be there to get the full benefits. So if you're not there for the full time frame, you'll only get a percentage of those benefits that they're offering.
So it's for like retention.
Employee retention, yes.
Okay.
Are we gonna go over pension after the IRA account?
Tomorrow we'll do Roth, IRA, pension, and then we'll discuss what you guys are going to work on and what I think is due Wednesday that we're going to start discussing.
Okay.
Anything else?
I have one question. So if we have all these retirement accounts, why are we still forced to pay 6.2% for Social Security? Don't we have like other options?
So your Social Security now theoretically pays for the people retiring right now. It's a big pot of money. So you put your money in the pot because your money goes to someone else. When I retire, your Social Security tax will go into a pot that theoretically will pay my retirement. It's a revolving door of money. It shouldn't be that way. It should be what I put in is in a separate account for me. It's not really that way. But again, the government gives some assistance, which is Social Security, right? So they give you your Social Security money, and then you have your retirement. Social Security is not enough to live on.
Hey guys, how you guys doing?
Yeah, all right, here's what's going to happen. I'm going to have to mute everyone because we have a bunch of students that are going into random classes. All right. It's a little bit obnoxious. Okay, so what else? Anything else? If you guys type it into the chat, or I'll leave it so you can unmute yourselves. I believe you can still unmute yourselves. Somebody try it. I just made it so you're muted on entrance. Okay.
So basically, Social Security, like you said, it's a revolving door. So theoretically, it's like you pay for someone else, and then once it's your turn to retire, someone pays for you. Theoretically, that's how it works.
Kinda, yes.
Okay.
Yes, exactly.
Ram Ranch, Big Hurt Throbbing, sucked. 18 naked cowboys wanted to. Cowboys in the.
All right, now I just have to mute everyone. So obnoxious. All right, sorry guys. Apologize, this is happening. Leslie, I'll unmute you since you had a question. And there you go. Okay.
So basically, like Social Security, the concept is like a pot, kind of everyone puts, like, is taxed for Social Security, and theoretically that goes to people that need like a retirement, but then it's kind of like once it's your turn, then like other people are also putting in for your retirement. So it's kind of like a give back system in a way.
Kind of, I mean, it's supposed to be, you know, I put my Social Security money in here. When I retire, I can take mine out.
Mm-hmm.
That's not the way it works. What the way it really works is it's a pot, and you pull out as you go. Because you have people who are probably retiring, who didn't pay enough into their. Serena, I see you. I'll unmute you in a second. Actually, you know what? I can manually unmute everyone, I think, and just not let all these new people that are kind of trash our conversation in. Maybe that didn't work. Okay. I tried, didn't work, guys. Sorry. So your question was, so ideally you want it to work like, hey, I put in my Social Security tax, I get it when I retire. Theoretically, that's what you get. Behind the scenes, I don't think it works like that. I think there's a huge pocket of money, and then they just pay it as people go. Because people that are retiring probably aren't getting, you know, they're using that money. It's like a bank. When you have money in your savings account, that's not your savings account. The bank is loaning it out. So it's probably a similar situation. But you should get the amount that you put away. Yes.
Yeah. The person's here in the chat.
Yeah.
They're in the chat.
Now they're in the chat?
Yeah, typing. Just so you know. They're called Fortnite Master.
God. All right, well. Is what it is. Ignore these people. All right, so what else do you guys have? Hold on, Serena. Hold on. I think I have to mute Leslie. Unmute. Serena, I don't know why I can't. There we go. All right, Serena, what do you got?
Like, you know how they said that like Social Security shouldn't be here in like a few years?
Yep.
Like, but the people are paying for now that are paying for Social Security, but they don't get it. Like once they cancel like the program, do they just not get anything when they're older?
And that's the issue. The issue is that you have a lot of people retiring that need that money. The money's been drying up relatively fast. So if they got rid of the Social Security system, I have no idea how people retiring get money or what kind of money they do get. I couldn't help you.
So like you're paying for Social Security now. So by the time you're like 70, you need money and it might just be gone.
Yeah. They've been saying that for like 10 years though, 15 years.
Okay.
So I couldn't tell you what then happens, no. But that's definitely always a possibility. Yep. Anyone else? All right, I'm gonna unmute everyone.
Wait, so why do people keep saying that we're not gonna have
Social Security?
Social Security, yeah.
You got a lot of people retiring. There's a lot of money to pay out. And if not enough people are working, I mean, you're paying out more than you have coming in. The bucket's going to dry up at some point. That's why you offer 401k plans to try to get people to have more money for retirement. Anyone else? You guys are good?
Oh, no, I have a question.
Yeah. Sabrina, what's up?
But it's not regarding finance.
Okay.
Oh, are we still going to nationals?
Oh, yeah.
Great question. I'm waiting on Presty's email. I haven't gotten an email yet from Presty. He said he was going to send me one today. They said they're going to do something. I have no idea, to be honest with you guys.
Yeah, because then there's also written. Supposedly.
Yeah, the written, I believe you guys sent in your written plan.
But that was a draft, though. Then
Right.
you have to give in the final one, and they extended the deadline.
Correct. So the issue with your national competition will now be how do they do a live Q&A? How do you present your business plan? We can't put you guys together because we don't want to do that.
Yeah.
I don't know what plans they have. We'll find out together.
Let's just do econ.
Yay. Yes. At this point, if we're not going back to school, I really don't care. I think
Me either.
you guys doing, but again, we'll see what they say. I mean, you guys have a chance to do a national competition. I'm interested to see what they come up with. I doubt you're going to do a 6-person Zoom discussion. I have no.
No, yeah, because then there's lagging. But
Yeah.
then also, we never even heard the instructions for the executive pitch. As well, because they were supposed to send that, but they never did.
I think they're trying to figure out what to do. They might just do away with everything. I don't know yet.
Okay.
And Emery, that's why I didn't read your HR script either, because I'm kind of just waiting to find out what they want to do.
So don't do the presentations?
I wouldn't do anything yet. I would actually pause everything you guys are working on in terms of the competition.
Not like
It's all depressing.
Sorry, guys.
It's whatever.
Okay. Not your.
All right, guys. Tomorrow, if you guys need me, I will have my Zoom on. That's it. You guys have any questions, let me know.
Do we have class tomorrow with you?
Tomorrow, no. Tuesday, Wednesday, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. Wednesday we'll use for if you guys have questions or need help with any assignments you're working on.
Tomorrow's Tuesday.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We have class tomorrow. Sorry.
Oh.
Class tomorrow.
I was like,
Yes, class tomorrow, and then we'll discuss the next assignment tomorrow also. Finalize the Roth IRA, traditional IRA, pension conversation. And then Wednesday I'll be available for any tutoring or discussions you guys want to have regarding what else is going on with other assignments. And Thursday and Friday we'll have our live sessions that are mandated again to be here for me. Good to go?
Yes.
Yep.
Guys, have a wonderful day. Let me know if you have any issues or questions.
Stay safe.
Thank you. Bye, Mr. Power.
Thank you.
Bye.